When a man is secretly attracted to you, his communication patterns often become inconsistent. This isn't merely a reflection of disinterest or indecisiveness, but rather an internal tug of war that stems from his feelings. On one hand, he wants to connect, share his thoughts, and make you aware of his presence in your life. On the other hand, the vulnerability of openly expressing his attraction may feel intimidating or even risky to him. As a result, he might reach out frequently and enthusiastically at certain times, only to withdraw or seem distant shortly after. This push and pull dynamic can leave you wondering about his intentions, but it is often rooted in his struggle to balance his emotions and the fear of rejection. When he reaches out, pay attention to how much effort he puts into the interaction. It might be evident in the way he starts a conversation, asks about your day, or recalls something you said weeks ago. These moments of engagement are not random, they're deliberate attempts to build a connection without being too obvious. However, the inconsistency often shows up when he becomes self-conscious about how much he's revealing. He may start questioning if he's coming on too strong or if his feelings are noticeable, and this can cause him to retreat temporarily. In such moments, his silence is not a lack of interest, but rather a protective mechanism. Understanding this dynamic requires patience and insight into the nuances of human behavior. People, particularly men, often communicate their emotions in ways that are not always direct. For a man who feels strongly attracted to someone but isn't ready to confess those feelings, inconsistency becomes a way of navigating uncharted emotional territory. He is likely testing the waters, trying to gauge your reactions to his attention. Are you equally responsive, or do you seem indifferent? Your reactions can influence his next move, encouraging him to either step forward with more confidence or retreat into self-doubt. It's also important to note that inconsistency doesn't necessarily mean he's playing games or being manipulative. Often, it's a sign of internal confusion. He might be trying to reconcile his attraction with other aspects of his life, his current priorities, past experiences, or the fear of complicating your relationship. For example, he might value your friendship and worry that expressing his attraction could risk losing the bond you already share. This internal dialogue can make him cautious about being too transparent with his emotions. However, this pattern of inconsistency can be frustrating if you're not aware of its underlying reasons. It might make you question his intentions or feel like you're receiving mixed signals. This is where understanding becomes crucial. Rather than jumping to conclusions or assuming disinterest, consider the possibility that he's navigating complex emotions. Men, like anyone else, can struggle with vulnerability, especially if they fear rejection or feel unprepared to handle the depth of their feelings. When he does communicate, take note of the subtle ways he reveals his attraction. It might be in his tone of voice, the way he lingers on certain topics, or how he remembers small details about you. These moments of connection, even if brief, are windows into his genuine interest. They reflect his desire to create a bond, even if he's hesitant to fully commit to it at this stage. This hesitancy is not unusual. Many people, regardless of gender, need time to process their feelings before they feel comfortable expressing them openly. Consistent communication can also be a way of managing expectations, both his and yours. He might be wary of setting a precedent where he's constantly available or overly attentive, especially if he's unsure of how you feel about him. By stepping back occasionally, he gives himself space to reflect and allows you to do the same. This period of reflection can be valuable as it creates an opportunity for both of you to evaluate the connection without external pressure. If you're interested in him and recognize this pattern, consider responding with subtle encouragement. Show that you value his efforts and appreciate his attention without putting undue pressure on him to clarify his feelings. Small gestures of acknowledgement, like a thoughtful response to his messages or expressing gratitude for his kindness, can go a long way in easing his fears. These actions can help him feel more confident about his feelings and more secure in expressing them over time. It's also worth reflecting on your own needs and boundaries in this dynamic. While inconsistency can be a natural part of someone processing their emotions, it's important to ensure that you're not left feeling undervalued or uncertain about where you stand. Healthy relationships are built on mutual respect and open communication, so finding a balance between understanding his hesitations and prioritizing your emotional well-being is key. And ultimately, the inconsistency in his communication is a reflection of his internal struggle rather than a lack of interest. Recognizing this can help you approach the situation with empathy and patience, giving him the space to navigate his feelings while staying true to your own needs. With time and mutual understanding, this dynamic can evolve into a deeper and more meaningful connection. When a man is secretly attracted to you, one of the most telling signs is his heightened attention to your presence. It's as though his world becomes subtly but unmistakably attuned to your every movement, word, and gesture. This attentiveness is often subtle, but it's there in the way he adjusts his behavior, seeks opportunities to be near you, or pays attention to details about you that others might overlook. While he might not openly express his feelings, his actions often reveal the depth of his interest. You might notice how his demeanor shifts when you enter the room. It could be the way his posture becomes more confident, how his eyes instinctively follow you, or how his tone changes when addressing you compared to others. These shifts are often subconscious, reflecting his desire to make a good impression and his interest in your response. Even in group settings, his attention might linger on you more than anyone else, as though his focus naturally gravitates toward you. This attentiveness often manifests in the little things. He remembers the small details you share, your favorite coffee order, the show you mentioned binge watching, or a passing comment about a book you love. These details might seem trivial, but for someone attracted to you, they hold significance. By remembering and bringing them up in conversation later, he's not only showing that he listens, but also subtly trying to build a connection. It's his way of saying, I see you and I care about the things that matter to you. And even his humor might be tailored to resonate with you. He might try to make you laugh, using jokes or comments he thinks you'll appreciate. If he's particularly observant, his humor might even reflect an understanding of your unique perspective or shared experiences. After all, is one of the most powerful tools for building intimacy, and his effort to bring joy into your life speaks volumes about his feelings. Another way his heightened attention becomes apparent is through his willingness to help or support you. Whether it's offering assistance with a task, going out of his way to solve a problem, or simply being there when you need someone to talk to, his actions often speak louder than words. He might downplay his motives, presenting his help as something anyone would do, but his consistency and eagerness set him apart. His support isn't just about being helpful, it's about being present in your life and showing you that you can rely on him. This attentiveness can also show up in the way he reacts to your emotions. If you're upset, he's the one who notices. Even if you're trying to hide it, he might ask if you're okay or offer a comforting word, his concern genuine and unprompted. Similarly, when you're happy or excited, he seems genuinely thrilled for you, as if your joy fuels his own. His emotional attunement reflects his investment in your well-being, even if he's not ready to articulate the depth of his feelings. Sometimes his heightened attention can make him nervous. He might stumble over his words or act a little awkward when you're around, especially if he's trying to impress you. This nervousness isn't a lack of confidence, but rather a sign that he cares about how you perceive him. His usual composure might waver, because your presence holds a special significance to him. In these moments, his nervous energy is a window into his internal struggle to balance his attraction with the desire to appear composed and self-assured. Even his listening habits can be a clue. He doesn't just hear you, he actively listens. He leans in when you speak, asks thoughtful follow-up questions, and seems genuinely interested in understanding your thoughts and feelings. This level of engagement goes beyond casual conversation. It's a sign of someone who values your perspective and wants to know you on a deeper level. His curiosity about your life, opinions, and dreams is a reflection of his growing connection to you. You might also notice how he seeks opportunities to spend time with you. Whether it's suggesting group hangouts that conveniently include you, finding excuses to initiate conversations, or volunteering to join you for activities you enjoy, his efforts to be around you are often deliberate. He may not always make these intentions obvious, but his actions show a desire to integrate himself into your life in meaningful ways. At times, his attentiveness might feel overwhelming or even confusing, especially if it's not accompanied by a direct expression of his feelings. This is where patience and empathy are important. His behavior often stems from a mix of admiration and hesitation. He wants to show you he cares, but he's still navigating how to do so without overstepping or risking rejection. By acknowledging his actions without pressuring him for clarity, you create space for a natural progression of the relationship. Ultimately, heightened attention is one of the most powerful ways someone can express their attraction. It reflects a genuine interest in who you are and a desire to connect on a deeper level. While it may not always be overt, the consistency of his actions often reveals his true feelings. And recognizing and appreciating these signs can help you understand the unspoken language of attraction and the ways it shapes connections. When a man is secretly attracted to you, one of the undeniable signs is the way he tries to make you feel special. This effort often manifests in subtle yet significant gestures that convey his admiration and interest. He might not openly confess his feelings, but his actions speak volumes about how much he values you and wants to stand out in your eyes. These gestures are often so natural and consistent that they can easily go unnoticed if you're not paying close attention. You'll often find that he goes out of his way to create moments where you feel unique and appreciated. For instance, he might notice details about you that others overlook, complimenting a change in your hairstyle, mentioning how your smile lights up a room, or recognizing your efforts in something you're passionate about. And these compliments are not superficial, they come from a place of genuine admiration. He sees things about you that others miss and wants you to know that your essence doesn't go unnoticed. His efforts to make you feel special might also show up in how he tailors his interactions to your preferences and interests. If you've mentioned something you like, whether it's your favorite coffee, book you love, or a dream destination, he finds ways to weave these details into his conversations or actions. Perhaps he surprises you with your favorite drink during a shared moment, or remembers to ask about that book you're reading. These seemingly small acts are his way of saying, I see you and I care about what matters to you. He may also try to create opportunities to spend time with you in ways that feel meaningful. If he knows you love a particular kind of music, he might invite you to a concert or casually mention an event he thinks you'd enjoy. His goal isn't just to spend time with you, it's to create experiences that resonate with your personality and preferences. By doing so, he's not only showing his interest, but also building a connection rooted in shared joy and understanding. When a man is secretly drawn to you, his efforts to make you feel special often extend to emotional support. He might be the first to check on you when you're having a bad day, offering a listening ear or comforting words. He's not just present in your moments of joy, but also in your struggles, demonstrating a level of care and reliability that goes beyond casual friendship. This emotional investment is his way of building trust and showing you that you can depend on him, no matter the circumstances. And his behavior might also include small acts of chivalry or kindness. He might open doors for you, offer to carry something heavy, or go out of his way to ensure your comfort. While these gestures might seem traditional, they come from a place of genuine respect and admiration. He wants to show you, in ways big and small, that you are valued and cherished. His actions are not about seeking attention, but about creating an environment where you feel cared for and supported. Even in group settings, his focus often shifts to ensuring you're comfortable and engaged. He might subtly steer the conversation to topics he knows you're passionate about, or make an effort to include you when others overlook your input. And his priority is your well-being, and he takes pride in contributing to your happiness. These actions are not about seeking validation for himself, but about enhancing your experience and making sure you feel seen and valued. Another way he tries to make you feel special is by celebrating your achievements and milestones. Whether it's a promotion at work, a personal goal you've reached, or even a small victory, he's quick to acknowledge and celebrate your success. He takes genuine pride in your accomplishments, often more so than in his own. His enthusiasm is a testament to how deeply he values you and wants to see you thrive. By highlighting your wins, he's not just supporting you, but also reinforcing how remarkable he thinks you are. At times, his attempts to make you feel special can be subtle but deeply personal. He might remember a random detail you shared months ago, or notice your mood shifts before anyone else does. These small moments of attentiveness reflect his emotional investment and his desire to connect with you on a deeper level. His ability to tune into your needs and emotions demonstrates his commitment to understanding and supporting you. Sometimes his efforts to make you feel special can come with a hint of nervousness or self-consciousness. He might second-guess himself or worry about coming on too strong, especially if he's unsure of how you feel about him. This vulnerability is a sign of how much he values your opinion and wants to ensure his actions resonate positively with you. His willingness to take risks, even small ones, to brighten your day or make you feel appreciated speaks volumes about his feelings. In essence, when a man is secretly attracted to you, his desire to make you feel special becomes a defining aspect of his behavior. His actions, whether grand or understated, are driven by a genuine admiration and a wish to create a connection that feels meaningful and authentic. And by recognizing and appreciating these efforts, you gain insight into the depth of his feelings and the unique bond he's trying to build. His gestures might not always come with words, but their consistency and thoughtfulness reveal a heart that's truly invested in you. When a man is secretly attracted to you, his admiration often manifests in his protective instincts. This is one of the most telling signs, even though it may not always be overt. A man who feels a deep, unspoken attraction naturally wants to ensure your well-being, both physically and emotionally. This protective behavior comes from a place of genuine care and a desire to make you feel safe and valued in his presence. You might notice his protective nature in small, seemingly insignificant moments. For example, when you're walking together, he instinctively positions himself between you and the road. If you're in a crowded area, he subtly ensures that you're not jostled or uncomfortable. These acts may not be grandiose, but they are deliberate. They reflect his deep-rooted instinct to shield you from harm and create a bubble of safety around you. It's his way of saying, without words, I've got you and I'll always look out for you. This protective tendency often extends to your emotional well-being. A man who is secretly drawn to you will notice when you're feeling low or stressed, even if you haven't said a word about it. He might ask if you're okay, offer to help with something that's troubling you, or simply provide a comforting presence. His goal is not to fix everything for you, but to be there for you in a way that lightens your load. He listens attentively, offering reassurance and encouragement that shows he genuinely cares about your happiness and peace of mind. At times, his protective instincts might become more apparent in social settings. If he senses that someone is treating you unfairly or disrespectfully, he's likely to step in and stand up for you. Whether it's a subtle comment or a direct intervention, his actions convey a clear message he won't tolerate anyone undermining or hurting you. This kind of behavior demonstrates not just his attraction, but also his respect for you. He values your dignity and wants to ensure that others treat you with the same level of regard. His protectiveness can also show up in how he supports your personal growth and ambitions. He encourages you to pursue your goals and dreams, often going out of his way to provide resources or opportunities that might help you succeed. This could mean sharing advice, connecting you with someone in his network, or simply being your cheerleader. His actions are not about control, but about empowerment. He wants to see you thrive, and he's willing to invest time and effort to make that happen. And his support is a reflection of how much he believes in you and wants you to achieve your fullest potential. Sometimes his protectiveness may take the form of subtle guidance. If he sees you in a situation that might not be in your best interest, he might gently point it out or offer an alternative perspective. He's not trying to dictate your choices, but rather to ensure you're aware of potential pitfalls. This guidance comes from a place of concern and a desire to see you make decisions that align with your happiness and well-being. Even when he disagrees with you, his approach is thoughtful and considerate, emphasizing respect for your autonomy. You may also notice his protectiveness in how he prioritizes your comfort and needs. Whether it's offering you his jacket when it's cold, ensuring you have everything you need in a particular situation, or going out of his way to make things easier for you, his actions are a testament to his affection. These gestures, though small, are deeply meaningful because they reflect his constant awareness of your well-being. He's not trying to impress you with grand displays, but is instead focused on showing you, through consistent effort, that you are cherished. And his protectiveness might also be evident in how he shields you from unnecessary stress or negativity. If there's a challenging situation, he might take on more responsibility to alleviate your burden. In conversations, he may steer discussions away from topics he knows upset you, or find ways to inject positivity into your day. This protective behavior isn't about seeing you as fragile, but about recognizing the value of your peace and doing his part to preserve it. One of the most telling aspects of his protective nature is how he respects your boundaries. A man who is genuinely attracted to you understands that true care involves honoring your independence and personal space. He doesn't overstep or impose, but instead offers support and safety in a way that empowers you. His protectiveness is not about control or dominance, it's about being a steady presence you can rely on. This balance of strength and respect is a hallmark of someone who cares deeply and sincerely. In moments of vulnerability, his protective instincts shine even brighter. If you're going through a tough time, he becomes a pillar of strength. He doesn't just offer words of comfort, he actively seeks ways to help you navigate the challenge. And whether it's providing practical assistance or simply being there to hold space for your emotions, he shows up with unwavering commitment. His actions in these moments speak to the depth of his feelings and his desire to be someone you can count on, no matter what life throws your way. Ultimately, a man's protectiveness is one of the most profound expressions of his attraction and care. It goes beyond words and superficial gestures, reflecting a deep connection that prioritizes your well-being above all else. His actions are a quiet yet powerful testament to how much you mean to him, creating a foundation of trust and safety that is the hallmark of genuine affection. When you recognize and appreciate this aspect of his behavior, you gain a clearer understanding of the depth of his feelings and the strength of the bond he's building with you.